What's going on, my pretty pandas? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to today's Tea Talk, where first we are going to dive into something that's very important. I just want to dive into it because I'm really excited and I'm really hyped about talking about this. This is actually a topic that was brought up by DazGames. I want to be able to discuss this and get your guys' opinion on it because it really is an important thing whenever we are just talking about the YouTube community and its creators. And we tend to forget that these creators are people that need to make money, that need to have an income, that need to be able to support themselves. So we're going to dive into the tweet that DazGames posted. A lot of you guys know him because I always talk about his channel a lot, but he is a gaming channel on YouTube. He does a lot of Daz watches, as he calls them, and I find them absolutely hysterical. But yeah, let's actually dive into what he had to say, and then we're going to discuss the kind of hashtag change movement that he is trying to bring about, which I think is just awesome.
Basically, guys, you're probably wondering what I'm ranting about on Twitter and why I'm ranting about it. Here's how the whole thing works. For instance, last year, a PR agency working on behalf of Warner Brothers came to me and said, Daz, we want you to make one of your big sketches for the movie It. Bearing in mind, it's a lot of work, you know. With what they were asking for, I'd need to design a set, I need a set designer, I need a director, I need a camera guy, I need a makeup, I need lighting, I need all the things that make these high production sketches possible and look the way they do. That means a bunch of talented industry people need to be hired to create this for them. I said, okay, great, love it. What's your budget? They're like, we don't have a budget. So they expect me to make it all out of my own pocket, make an advertisement for them that'll get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, and then that advertisement will obviously sell Blu-rays, it'll sell movie tickets. They go on to make multi-millions more on top of the multi-millions they were going to make in the first place. I even at one point said to them, would Warner Brothers give me at least £500 so I can pay my cameraman and his travel? They're like, okay, we'll get back to you. They got back to me, they're like, no, they can't do that, there's no budget, can you do it or not? And that's basically what they do. They try and get audiences for free, and people, and it's not just me, it's all the crew and the people that help make these sketches. They don't get paid either. I'm supposed to pay them out of my own pocket, so I'm out of pocket, and all they offer in return, this is the kicker, they'll be like, oh, we'll give you a free Blu-ray and a gift box, and usually these gift boxes have little toys and shit in, like it's just a novelty. They wouldn't even give me £500 to pay my cameraman. So when the big fish like me say no, they go to smaller creators and round up a bunch of small channels who've never worked with Universal, and they get excited when they hear, oh my god, I'm working for Universal. I'm getting a free Blu-ray. They do it for free, they create content, the movie studios make millions more out of all these deals. And young, talented creators and industry people don't get paid because we're told that these billion-dollar companies don't have a budget. I'm going to fight for this and change it.
And that's the kicker, isn't it? The thing is that these are multi-million, if not billion-dollar corporations that hire YouTubers, people like us, to do the creative stuff that a lot of their people can't think of. They just are too lazy to. When it comes down to it, this is the most frustrating thing ever, because as you guys know, I don't get paid for this. I don't get paid at all for what I do on YouTube, except through Patreon and some freelance things here or there. The big issue with this is that there are so many talented creators, there are so many up-and-coming people who are in the industry right now. Forget about YouTube for a second, I'm talking about like who are even on Twitter and promote their artwork. There's so many artists who get their work stolen by bigger companies because, oh, we wanted a thumbnail. And they don't even get paid for it. This is disgusting, what's going on in the world of entertainment and media, and I feel like this needs to stop. So we're gonna further the hashtag change. So whenever you guys get a chance and you want to tweet about this and you want to be able to promote this idea that there needs to be a change in the way entertainment is run and the way that YouTubers like me and so many others are treated, then use the hashtag change. It'll go far. Numbers create a movement. And I feel like if we have enough numbers behind us, it'll work, without a doubt. So I fully support this. I fully support this movement that Daz is trying to create. It is something so completely mind-boggling. Again, how these companies have so much money, and yet they're like, no, we're not going to pay your cameraman. We're not going to do any of this. We're not going to even pay your flights to events that you were invited to. That's the whole, that's the thing that really kind of irritates me the most, because you have VidCon, you have Creator Summit, you have so many events, Playlist Live. Do they pay their creators? Do they do all the things that a company is supposed to do that makes a massive amount of money? Especially you guys, the viewers, don't know all the behind the scenes stuff, because you guys are just supposed to be enjoying the content, meeting us, and understanding that, hey, you know, we're people, we're goofballs, we like to, you know, be our goofy selves on camera, but that's not the entire story. The entire story is that we don't get paid for a lot of these events. I've never been to one of these events before. Don't know if I will unless I'm asked to. But I've also never been paid for any of the stuff that I've done in gaming. Like, look at the gaming company that I used to work at. I was never paid for any of it, and I'm owed over $1,500. The companies in entertainment will put all the bells and whistles on to make it sound pretty, but it's really devastating actually how little they care. And the whole thing is just, I wish these companies had more dignity. And it might not, and you know, there's something that Daz pointed out before, and it might not be the actual company. Warner Brothers might be great, it's just the PR team that needs to get their act together. And that's the whole crux of it all, is that it's the people that they hire that has to choose the talent and the way that the whole system goes. It's like an MCN. Never go to an MCN. They're not gonna promote your channel further. They're not gonna, you know, invest time in you, because what do they care? They have your name, they have your status, they have everything that they could possibly want, including money. So why should they give it, like, well, literally, why should they give an F about you? That's one of the reasons why I, you know, dropped my MCN. They weren't doing anything for me, they weren't paying me. We don't get hired, we get told. With some companies, if we don't even comply to what they're asking us to do, there's no future in working with that company ever again, because they see us as a problem. Well, I'm talking from a personal experience, but I'm also talking from experience that I've seen other YouTubers go through. The business aspect, you have this aspect of it, you have the engaging with you guys aspect, you have trying to get your videos viewed, there's so many facets that people don't entirely realize, because there's no truth that's being told about every little nitty-gritty detail that goes into YouTube. Granted, I've never been invited to events. I'm not a big YouTuber by today's standards, but I have had a few things that have happened to me where it makes me question the integrity of a lot of companies. You know, and it is rough. It is rough trying to make a living from YouTube. Like I said, I don't make any money directly from YouTube. It's from Patreon, and I think I make maybe $72 a month, if that. You know, helping my family, it goes towards all that kind of stuff, because you know, as you guys know, I still live with my family. I still live with my mom and my dad, and whenever I actually made a deal with them whenever I was graduating that I would help pay for my student loans and for what I could with like little minimal expenses and stuff like that, but that they would help with the rest, which is really like, it's freaking awesome. You know, we'll help you invest, we'll help you, you know, with your YouTube channel, because we believe in your vision, we believe in where you're going, which is amazing. But it's tough, because how do you explain to them that, oh, these companies want to work with you, but you're not getting paid? That to them is heartbreaking, you know? For me, as a creator, as somebody who gets on camera every day, who loves what she does, I absolutely love this so much, or I wouldn't have been doing it for the past 2.5 years. It's heartbreaking, because I put so much time and so much work. Forget about views, forget about any of that crap. At the end of the day, if one person sees what I do, that's so awesome, because they took the time to watch it, and I'm just like, oh my god, I get giddy just thinking about it. But the fact that, like, I've had even record labels come up to me, and they were like, well, you know, we get like 50% of what you make. You get like 25. So yeah, while I don't get paid much to do what I do on YouTube, I try to save as much as I can. That way, if I ever get a chance to have a meeting or do something where I have to travel, I have the backup refunds and resources to be able to do it. And Daz, if you are seeing this video, I really appreciate what you're doing. It's a really noble cause. It's something that not a lot of YouTubers would do because either A, they're too scared, or B, they just don't want to do it. They don't want to bother with the whole, yeah, let's try to make a change. If nothing is even tried for, then nothing will ever happen. But yes, this rant is getting on a little bit too long. Daz, if you're seeing this again, I hope you've had a good day. I hope you've had a strong cup of tea. I hope the mannequin in your closet isn't causing too much trouble for what I'm seeing on the video. But yes, let's get on to some of the other topics that we are going to be discussing in today's Tea Talk, because I want to address that first and foremost. That was a priority on what to talk about today. Next up, we are going to get into North America's first female Overwatch contender. Player steps down after harassment. This has been a big deal within the Overwatch community. I was really pissed off about it whenever I heard, because it's not fair the fact that she got so much harassment. She actually just had to step down as a player. And a lot of you know I am a big Overwatch fan, but this reaches its limit, because it states here in the article that the girl's name, by the way, is Ellie. It states here in the article that Second Wind, a minor league Overwatch team ranked highly in contenders, added a new player called Ellie to the roster in late December, a newcomer to the competitive scene. Ellie was met with conspiracy theories regarding her authenticity immediately following her announcement that she was a male pro player posing as someone else. Before Ellie could play a single game in Overwatch contenders, Second Wind announced Ellie's departure in a tweet yesterday. If it were just another male competing over Overwatch, we wouldn't be seeing all the hype around it that we are with Ellie. With Ellie, it's a really unique case because she's pushing the boundaries of a lot of what people think of female gamers. That, oh, we just pose in our underwear and with our game controllers because we're like so popular. I mean, you know, actual female gamers, the one who aren't Twitch thoughts, they actually get pissed off when a boss beats you. I can't count the number of times that I've internally raged. Not on camera, but I've just internally raged at myself anyway. Like, this has to be a big wake-up call to the gameverse, if you want to even call it that, to consider the fact that women are humans, and we do have feelings. Not just because, oh, we game so we're supposed to be rough and tough. No, it's legitimate. Like, we game, we eat, we breathe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is complete just ugh. Now, you thought the alien news was over. Honey, it ain't over. Now, I just got this as a link a couple of days ago by Peter Turner. Thank you so much, Peter, for the awesome article link. It really, honestly, it made me rethink some things, honestly. Cold Iron Studios just announced that one of the Alien games, I don't know if this is in addition to their mobile game that they're doing, but Cold Iron Studios announced that there's going to be an online Alien shooter. I can deal with that. I mean, you know, part of me can deal with that. I can deal with this. I love the Alien Isolation game. It was one of my favorite games. Listen, it made my soul feel complete, okay? For those of you who have not seen the Alien movie, you go see it now, pronto. Now, it also states here in the article that Foxnet game studio Cold Iron Studios is currently working on a massive multiplayer online shooter set in the Alien cinematic universe for consoles and PC. Which, I mean, yes, honey, yes. I mean, that's honestly, that's kind of better than what I was hoping for, because I'm not a big multiplayer person. I like to be immersed in the moment, absorb things. By the way, the sun is shining, so that's why I'm not sitting in center with the camera. I can see this being a thing. I feel like Alien as a whole might work better as a multiplayer. Humor me for a second with this thought and leave your opinions down in the comments below. Now, this article was also sent to me by Peter Turner because he has a tier on Patreon where you guys can offer me topics for the Tea Talk. So thank you so much for Peter. And if you guys want to be a Patreon, you can also find the link down in the description below where you guys can offer topics, suggestions on what to do for Tea Talks. I'm also starting a podcast every Friday. I'm so excited. Where we talk about extended Tea Talk topics, where we'll go more heavily into the psychology of gaming. We'll go more heavy into just the ethics of gaming, how multiplayer is, just a host of different things. We'll talk about BTS. We'll talk about all sorts of things. So leave your comments down below of what you guys would like to hear in the Tea Talks. I'm going to gather up a bunch of ideas, a bunch of suggestions, leave them in a folder on my computer, and go through a lot of them whenever I just need like a little bit of inspiration help. The article states that Bungie splits with Activision and acquires the rights to Destiny. This is huge. Like, this is major. Seriously, like it also says here in the article that Bungie and publisher Activision are bringing their 8-year Destiny partnership to a close. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love the story. I love the way Destiny is as a whole game. I've never played it, but I want to play it so much. It looks so good. Developer announced today that it will acquire publishing rights to the shooter franchise from Activision and will publish future games on its own, which, if you think about it, is kind of exciting because I want to see what these guys are capable of. Now, there's a quote here in the article that said, we have enjoyed a successful 8-year run and would like to thank Activision for their partnership on Destiny, Bungie said in their update post to its website. Looking ahead, we are excited to announce plans for the Activision to transfer publishing rights to Destiny to Bungie. With remarkable Destiny community, we are ready to publish our own, while Activision will increase their focus on the owned IP projects. Which, this is exciting. I can't wait to see what happens next. Like, there's this entire article. You guys should definitely read it and check it out down in the description below. I'm very excited about this. There's a lot that we could go into with this article, which actually I might extend in the podcast because episode 1 comes out next Friday. Which, you know, now that I think about it, since we do have our tea talks at 10 a.m., which I know this one is a little bit late, I had to do some adulting stuff, so bear with me. But I'm thinking of doing, if it's okay with you guys, either doing one early in the morning as kind of like an entire discussion on different topics, including the ones that would be in a tea talk, or do you guys prefer watching the tea talk first and then having a podcast? Let me know down below. There's a bunch of stuff that you guys have to reply to in this video, so you got a bit of homework. So next up, we got some questions from you guys, and I have to admit there were a lot of good questions this time, both on Twitter and on YouTube, so I thought I would add 3 instead of 2. That way it gave more people a chance, because I love answering your guys' questions. You guys are always so sweet and so nice, and you guys always ask like really awesome questions too. And the first question comes from our YouTube community page from Peter McPeteface. Thank you so much, Peter, for sending in your question. And he asks, what is the healthiest and unhealthiest thing you do on a regular basis? How much do you judge a person by their appearance? Well, that's technically 2 questions, but I will let it go. What is the healthiest and unhealthiest thing you do on a regular basis? Healthiest thing I do on a regular basis, let's see. I listen to music because I feel like that's very healthy. I also exercise. I also read. I feel like reading is very healthy for the brain. It brings up a lot of those new connections in the neural pathways. And the unhealthiest thing I do on a regular basis, oh gosh. If we ever have Cheeto Puffs, I always down a bag of those. Like, it's an inevitability. If there are Cheetos in the house, I will finish them. I wouldn't call it unhealthy, but I do tend to read a lot of, you know, Stan BTS Twitter stuff. Moving on. I honestly really honestly try not to judge people ever, like not judging a book by its cover. But if I see someone like being an ass, or if I see someone like on first appearance, like, you know, yelling at someone on the street or anything like that, I'm really not going to have a high opinion of them. But after I get to know them, then I judge and see their character and who they really are. So I don't really judge on first appearance, even if that person looks stereotypically shady or anything like that. You could find out that they could be the warmest teddy bear in the world. Next up, we have a question from Twitter from Pokemon trainer Quill, and he asks what time of the year is best to travel to you? It really depends on where you're going, honestly. If you're going to New York, I would honestly travel around like August, September, even October, early October, because the fall in New York City, it's so amazing. If you're coming up here to upstate New York, though, I would definitely come during May to July. July and June, those tend to be like the hottest days of the, like the hottest months of the year, not the days of the year, the hottest months of the year for New York. So I would probably just try to come somewhere in between, just like the tail end of summer and the beginning of autumn, because those tend to be very nice days where you really don't have to wear anything too heavy or too light either. So I would try to balance that out. But if you're going to somewhere like Ohio or Pennsylvania, I would definitely try to like keep within those ranges too. Ohio gets pretty decent weather as far as the summertime goes, but I would probably try to travel there around like the same time that I suggested for upstate New York. So I would, you know, for me, always it's in between summer and autumn, but that could be completely different when I go to South Korea. It could be that I would travel in December versus now, but actually it gets pretty cold in December, so you know, nix that. Yeah, I've been told that to travel to South Korea would be best in like August or September, but yeah, I mean during, you know, that, like I said, that middle point between summer and autumn, best for me to travel. And our last question comes from the YouTube Community Center, and it is from Andrew. Andrew, thank you so much for submitting your question. Thank you so much. And he asks, other than music and YouTube, what is something that you are most proud of that you have done in your life so far? This is easy. Publishing 2 short stories in the same year, which was last year in 2018. The proudest achievement I've ever had. Like, I published the short story In Stone and the story Join Us. In Stone was a kind of like a horror short story that I did for an anthology, as well as Join Us. Join Us was a horror short story for a brony anthology, and I absolutely love the both of them. They're both my children. I absolutely love the fact that I got to work with such amazing people to write these short stories for these anthologies, and it was one of the best experiences ever. My friend Lex, shout out to Lex for helping me find these anthologies because they were really, really awesome. So shout out to you, dude. You really, really helped me a lot whenever I was writing these, in my editing, in like publishing them even. It was by far one of the best experiences I've ever had, was publishing my first 2 short stories. But you guys know what time it is. It is time for our Korean word of the day. And our Korean word of the day is 실례합니다, which means excuse me. So if you guys are going throughout, you know, the streets of Seoul, or, you know, you happen to know a little bit of Korean and you want to, you know, just intermingle with your fellow peers and you want to just say excuse me, just go 실례합니다, which actually, excuse me, thank you, is 실례합니다, 감사합니다, which is excuse me, thank you. 감사합니다 means thank you. Or if you want to say with a little bit of sass, like excuse you, it could be said like 실례합니다. It doesn't work as well, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. But if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell down below because I make videos every weekday. Oh, stay casually nerdy, you guys, and I will talk to you all in tomorrow's video. Be sure to subscribe to DazGames. He brings out awesome content. Listen, okay? He had me in his video whenever I was being shouted out, and I got so many dazzlers. So many dazzlers coming over to my channel, and I thought it would only be fair to do the same for him because a lot of my community also likes DazGames, and if more of you don't know about him, then, you know, what's the hype about? People are supposed to be hyping one another, am I right? So go enjoy his content. I would definitely recommend that you guys check out his Outlast and Alien Isolation playthroughs. The best. But stay casually nerdy, you guys, and I will talk to you all in Monday's video. Peace.
시작도 못해 보고 건들까만 그냥 때려쳐